I'm George Curtis. Welcome to It's Your Law. Each week it's my privilege to bring guests that have something to do with our legal system, our governmental system, the delivery of services, the elections, the changes of the law, implementation of it, and these people are interesting, they're knowledgeable, they have something to say. Today's guest is no exception. He's a former mayor of the city of Oshkosh. He just retired from that position. Previously, he was on the city council. He has run for elections that he's won. He has won for elections that he's lost. He's had a real impact. And if you know Paul Esslinger, you know that this show is unplanned, undirected, and I have no idea where it's going. I don't even know whether or not the people in this room have guns because they may be concealed. But let's welcome our ex-mayor. Welcome, Paul Esslinger.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be with you, George. Well, you said you had interesting people on. Unfortunately, your viewers aren't going to see something interesting today.
Well, I'm afraid they will.
You're afraid they will.
Some people got up to get a cup of coffee, and some people got up to turn off the TV.
Yeah, exactly. They got the remote, and they're hitting the volume or the channel changer.
Well, when did you become an ex-mayor?
April 19th officially was my last day. That's when the council had their reorganization meeting. But my last council meeting was the Tuesday before that.
How old are you, Paul?
46.
And tell us a little bit about how you've invested those 46 years. You've had a real interesting life so far, and you're probably just getting warmed up.
Yeah, I am getting a little warmed up or cooled off, maybe one way of looking at it. 46, lifelong resident of Oshkosh. Mom and dad lived here all their lives. My dad was on the fire department in Oshkosh for several years, 25, 30 years, and he was actually a past president of the Firefighters Union. And my mom was a 40-year English teacher in Omro, to which my brother now is an English teacher in Omro. Mom and dad, unfortunately, are both gone. But I have a beautiful wife, Jackie, and a son, Carson, and my daughter, Sydney. Son's 11, my daughter's 9. One goes to South Park, the other to Jacob Shapiro. And so I've shot a couple titles. I've gained some titles over the years. They come and they go. And I think my favorite title and the one I'm most proud of is husband and father. And several years ago, I started watching cable access TV, to which the council meetings were shown. And I took a liking to that. And as I watched, a lot of times there were things that I didn't like that the council did or didn't do. And I'm the type of person where I just don't want to complain about it. I want to get involved and give my opinion in that. So I ran, I think my first time I ran was in 1998. I was unsuccessful the first time, unsuccessful the second time, and finally won on my third attempt. So I was 9 years as a council member. And then through when I was on the council, I brought forward a resolution to the council to have a referendum on whether to directly elect the mayor in Oshkosh. Previously, the council selected who was going to be their mayor or president of the council, whatever you want to call it. And that was successful. So first time I ran for mayor was against Bill Castle and was unsuccessful there. Second time was against Frank Tower and was unsuccessful in that bid. And then Frank Tower ran for re-election and I was successful. So I know what it's like to win, George, and unfortunately I know what it's like to lose. But I mean, I guess in life, that is life. You know, you don't always win, and you need to know what the losing side's like too.
Well, you assume when you win you did everything right, which is never true. And
No.
you assume when you lose you did everything wrong,
Yeah.
which is never true. You learn more from losing than winning.
I guess when you win, you probably just did things more right than the person that lost. Maybe, I don't know.
Or maybe it was your turn. And
Maybe it was my turn. Someone was looking above and said, it's Paul's turn.
Well, let's look back at your public career in Oshkosh. What's happened? A lot has happened in that period of time when you've been serving the people in Oshkosh.
Yeah, it has. The first couple times that I ran, as far as media goes, George, there was no, I mean, there was an internet, obviously, but you didn't have the blogs, and you didn't have now the Oshkosh Northwestern has their blog where people comment on. And in the years that I've been on there, things have really gotten to an elevated standpoint where there's just a lot of nastiness. Unfortunately, it's degraded into a lot of nastiness. You have what I call cowards who are sitting in their basement or attic or wherever they are on their computer, and they have an assumed name on a blog, and they don't like you, and they'll take pot shots at you. So you don't know who they are, but they know who you are, and they want to give their opinion, and they want to do it anonymously. In the 11 years as I served on the council, I loved to hear from people. I wanted to hear people tell me what I did right and what I did wrong. You need to hear that. You need to hear both sides. But hearing from anonymous people that are just nasty, I think is pointless, and I think it's shameful. And I really wish that some of these things would stop, because there are I know a lot of people, both Democrat, Republican, that would love to run for some of these seats that just will not. And in our local paper, the reporters that we have, they try to do their best job, but we have an editorial staff at our paper that really is only focused on obtaining money. And as we were talking beforehand, getting news now, very few old guys like us, George, who may
Careful here.
Yeah, who may still read the paper, get some of their news from there, but now it's you get it from the radio or from the internet. And so the Northwestern has to either create news or they have to slant it in a way to get readers. And no one wants to get trashed in the newspaper. I'm just a dumb guy that doesn't care. So it didn't really bother me that much. But again, people want to run for these positions, but they don't want to because they don't want to subject themselves to that, and they don't want to subject their families to that.
Well, I think you raised some good points. It's my impression that anybody who would run for public office today has that blinding ambition. No matter what the price is to you and your family, you have to have that job. They call it fire in the belly, I guess. Or they have to be very crazy, very, very dangerously ambitious, or just stupid. Let's take our first break, and when we come back,
Good time for a break. Yeah.
We'll be right back.